Welcome into the stream. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
What's up, guys?
McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain. Total Body Fuel. Get started with the podcast here in a little bit, I think.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. Nothing's wrong.
How's your day?
How's my day? You know, I woke up at 6 to the alarm, my wife's alarm, and she said to me, "Do you want to sleep some more? I'll close the door."
Wow.
And I should have said,
Yes, please.
yes. And in an ideal world, I would still be asleep.
Yeah, that'd be good.
My mistake was, no, I've got work to do. And from there, it went south.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had a fun day. Like I told you, man, just I sent you a text this morning, said have a great day. Just kick life in the balls and move on about your day.
You did.
I mean, that's what you got. It's all about how you look at it.
It is. It is.
Do you feel safe today from me?
Yes.
Okay, I was just checking.
Actually, the mask only protects you, and that's if you wear an N95, that is not.
All right.
An N95.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. All right, I'm better now.
You better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just had to start the show with that, so when they go to transcribe the show on YouTube, they'll be like, "Oh, this is going to the top."
Okay.
We're good.
That's good. All right, we'll get started with the audio file here.
That was all for YouTube.
That was nice of you.
You're welcome,
Probably made
guys.
them happy.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Welcome into another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel.
Ooh.
I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey.
All day long.
Welcome into the show. Thank you for making us a part of your week. Here for a Make It Rain edition Thursday. Make It Rain Thursday edition of the. Thank you, Ben. I have hit the record button.
Yeah.
You know my day started with that, right?
I did. I listened to your show today. I wasn't gonna miss your show today. I didn't get a courtesy chuckle. I'm really pissed at Chase. I didn't get a courtesy chuckle on my joke. I was getting ready to walk out the door, and I get my notification on my phone that your show's coming on, and turn it on. And the first 87 comments in the stream was about Lane. And I told Chase that I last saw Lane at the Auburn University Airport reading a copy of Resilient Rebels. And he didn't give me a courtesy chuckle.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
So I was kind of proud of that one.
Oh, all right. On the show today, we're going to talk about Nick Rolovich a little bit.
That was why I had the mask, by the way.
We're going to talk about resetting the clock, coaching changes, getting behind in the portal, how important it's going to be for schools to move quickly as it pertains to hiring new coaches. Speaking of new coaches, Biff Poggi got the job at Charlotte.
Did you ever meet him?
I don't think so.
Him and Nick are boys. He used to hang around a lot. I know you covered Nick all those years.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I don't. If I did, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'll have the road to Boise, which if Tyler doesn't win this week, I mean, no offense, but if you don't win this week, you don't deserve to win. Because
You trying to reverse psychology me right there or something?
I mean,
That may be the best way to do it.
I've never been less prepared for picks in my entire life.
Be all right.
Yeah, I mean, fine, whatever.
Did you watch the Central Michigan, Western Michigan game last night?
Well, I flipped to it. I was taping, believe it or not, a show that only Pete DeWeese and I will ever see. I was taping that show, and I was trying to kind of focus on Pete. If I'm honest, last night, and this I think it's all ties in. The importance of sleep. Like sleep's really important.
Has somebody talked to you about this this week?
Yeah, I have not.
Was he bald and short?
Yeah, I have not slept much.
gotta sleep, dude.
The last couple of weeks. And it caught up to me last night a little bit. And I was like having a hard time staying awake taping that show. And I went to bed. Well, I didn't. I got finished with the show, intended to go to bed. The phone rang. I was working phone stuff till 11. Went to bed, didn't sleep well, got up, like I mentioned, made a sloppy mistake writing that I'm still really pissed off at myself about. It was just sloppy. It was.
I forgive you.
Yeah. I've got to get better about just kind of forgiving myself. I know my heart was in the right place. It was an error. People make them. Anyway.
You got to be tight on your game these days. There's a lot of emotional people out there right now.
There are a lot of people that are emotional about something, and I have to, it's that deal where I have to remember two things. This is me talking to myself. Number one, I have to remember that just because I'm not emotional about something, I've got to remember that the people that are reading my work
that is very
are.
Good. Yep.
That's number one. That's important. And then see, I'm so scatterbrained right now. I can't remember the second part. That's the big part. Though I know the second part is that I had someone tell me today, more people read you than you think. And I think I don't think about that ever. I never think about that, but I've got to start. Hey, this is going to get read by a lot of people. Be smart.
Yeah.
Take your time. And this morning I was in a rush. I was in a hurry. I had stuff to do. Had to start a show. Carson, the OHS, is heading down to the beach for the weekend. So he was getting stuff, and I was trying to make sure that
Orange Beach?
No, they're going down to like Biloxi.
Oh, gotcha.
Down that area. They're playing Ocean Springs, I think, in Biloxi. And so I was trying to make sure I saw him. I wanted to see him before he left because I'm leaving in the morning. I won't see him until Sunday afternoon or whatever. I wanted to say, hey, be careful and keep up with your stuff and good luck and all that, and just sloppy. What I was trying to write was that Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin had not, as of this morning, sat down and communicated about a contract in light of Auburn's pursuit of Lane Kiffin. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
It's not at all what I said. I think if you read it, I also have to remember that a lot of times when, like, you and I talk about this, right, off the camera, I talk to other people, obviously, and when we talk about it, I don't have to be as clear,
right?
Because you understand what I'm saying, or I understand what you're saying when you say, "Hey, such and such, such and such." I'm like, "Okay, I know what that means." I have to remember that the people that are reading my work don't necessarily have the benefit of all of that background, and I've got to. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
I've got to lay that out.
I had a question asked to me today, and I said, my opinion hasn't changed, but I'm having a tough time how to answer that question because the things that I could say can be read, but people that don't understand what I'm talking about could read between the lines the wrong information.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But anyway.
So that was that. So we'll talk about Nick Rolovich, talk about that. We'll do our picks, and that's our show.
All right. So today's episode is entitled "How Pissed Off Can We Make Neal?" So I like when you get enraged, and when you're tired, I think you have a weak spot to get ragey. And so I had somebody who was upset with all my F-bombs that I've been releasing on the show.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that it's not my mother impersonating someone, but
you think
maybe. And so today's episode, I'm going to let you drop F-bombs.
I don't want to do that though.
So we're going to start this bad bitch off with Nick Rolovich files his lawsuit against the governor. First of all, before we talk about our good friend Nick Rolovich,
let's talk about the reason that we're even able to get on here.
My gosh, let's do it.
Nick and others. We're brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. There won't be Pete's Pigskin preview at 4. It's totally. I think it's totally my fault. What happened was...
See, what had happened was...
he had a connectivity issue at the beginning, and I hit pause, and I'm 99% sure that I hit record again when he came back. but I'm wondering if I just hit pause.
Did Zoom record it locally for you?
Zoom record it locally.
Don't you do those on Zoom?
Yeah.
You may have a video file saved on whoever the host was.
Well, I was the host.
You may have a.
Nah, look.
You look okay.
Yeah. It only recorded the first part before he paused.
Gotcha. All right, so back to our good friend Nick Rolovich, who, by the way, is a friend. He is one of the best human beings on the planet.
That's what I've heard.
I'm talking about. You talking about a fun guy now?
Yeah, I've heard. I've had multiple people who know him and know me. I've never met Nick Rolovich, but I've had multiple people, like in coaching and media circles, who know him and know me, have said that he and I would really hit it off.
So
Nick, if you're out there,
y'all, dude,
beer's on me, bud.
Nick would be, and Rolo is what I've always called him. So Corey Batoon, who coached here, and then Darren Hiller, who is one of my mentors in this business. They worked with Rolo at different places, and so they kind of introduced me to him at the convention. And this turned into during the AFCA convention every year, we would go a day early because it's hard. The older you get, it's hard to run really hard for about 3 nights in a row. So we'd go the night before the convention started and blow it out,
Yeah.
And then the actual convention didn't start till like 3 on Sunday, so that gave you time to recover. But anyway, it turns into every year, whatever city we're in, whether it be Anaheim, Charlotte, Nashville, wherever, San Antonio, that we'd end up meeting up with Rolo at the bar, and he's buying drinks for everybody. Just a great guy. Like right when he got the Washington State job, like it was a big story that he went into a local tavern or something. Not local, but he was out recruiting. Like it was Seattle or somewhere.
He was in Seattle.
And he buys the whole.
He tweeted out to, hey,
if you're a Washington
State fan or a Cougar fan or whatever, come over.
Buy you a drink.
Love to meet you. Buy you a drink. And he literally stayed at the bar for 2 hours and bought beers for guys and talked.
Who does that?
Washington State football.
He's a stud. So anyway, in case you've been under a rock lately, I know it's on the other side of the pond, but they fired him. He tried to, when COVID hit and they were trying to force vaccines and all that stuff out in our states out on the left coast, they fired him for not taking the COVID vaccine. That's what he got fired for. He filed he's Catholic. He filed a religious exemption. And everybody was, depends on what side of that opinion you're on. I'm highly aware of what our stream is probably on what side they are of that. But he gets fired for it, and out there they take it one way in the South, and in the East Coast we take it another way. But here's what came out today that's going to get you fired up, Neal. So he actually files the lawsuit, and people can go in and look at it now. In his testimony, I don't know what they don't call it testimony. What do they call it when
you testify?
But you depositions.
Mm-hmm.
And then he talks about it on a podcast this week or some other time. The AD comes to him and asks him to, on the 50-yard line in front of his team, to get vaccinated, knowing what his stance was on getting vaccinated. Asked him to go on the 50-yard line in front of his team and get vaccinated.
Why?
I don't know. But like
as a way to pressure players that were
reluctant? I'm sure
is that the point?
I'm sure it was the point of everybody knows how he feels about it. And if he did it to get everybody else, I'm sure that was the point behind it. But how freaking dumb can you be as somebody that represents a state-run organization and all the HR rules and everything else you got to go by to go and do that?
Did you follow the COVID stuff? I mean, did you pay attention to the COVID stuff?
I was
the
here.
Lies that were told?
Yeah, I was here.
The pressure that was put on people? The immoral pressure that was put on people. It was wrong.
They should just write a $25 million check and be done with it.
They should absolutely pay him his $25 million. They absolutely should. And then some. Because by firing him like that, you damaged his upward growth. You damaged his ability to get other jobs. You damaged his, I don't know, what was his psyche? He wanted to work. He wanted to coach that team. He cared about his team. You took him away from his players. You caused mental stress. You caused, I'm sure, angst. You caused hurt. It was completely unnecessary. It was absolutely unnecessary for Nick Rolovich, who's how old?
Nick's probably, I'd be lying. He's a little older than me. Him and Corey are like the same age. Yeah, I'm saying close to 50.
Okay.
If I had to guess. Maybe
Right.
a little bit over.
So
50, early 50s.
okay, my age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. He didn't need it. If he wanted it, that was fine. Right? I mean, listen, if you wanted to go get vaccinated and boosted and all that stuff, cool. Go for it. Go for it. It's fine. But if you don't want to, especially by the time that happened, there was data that supported Nick Rolovich's stance. There was data.
Yeah.
And it was wrong.
Yeah. I felt, I don't mind. I don't care because, I mean, what else? I say all kinds of stuff all the time anyway. I don't care.
So he's 43. He's 43 years old.
Rolo's younger than me.
So let's talk about
Shocker.
Let's talk about the list. I mean, seriously, I'm not being serious here, but where's the list of healthy 43-year-olds who were dropping dead of COVID? The truth is there weren't any, because here's the deal: you would know those people, you would hear those stories. If it was a common thing, you would know it.
Yeah,
right. It was the reason that I always said the whole school thing was unnecessary, and the reason I said it was unnecessary was because if college kids had started dropping of COVID, you wouldn't have to have a mandate. Everyone would have gone and gotten their kid and locked them up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You didn't have to lock down the elementary schools. You didn't have to, because if it were real and fifth graders were dying everywhere from COVID, nobody would have sent their kids to school. It's the one thing that we all generally have in common, whether we're Republican or Democrat, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, old, young, tall, short, fat, skinny, pretty, ugly, pick differences. Whatever they are, might be, whatever your view on Roe v. Wade or your view on taxation or what, the one thing we all kind of have in common, pretty much, is we love our kids.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that everybody's kind of really got in common. We love our kids. And so if your kids were really endangered, the government wouldn't have had to do anything. There wouldn't have been a need for a mandate. But there was a certain point in that deal, and I'll stop because it's just not worth it. And the people that are on the other side of this just will not admit, hey, maybe we overreacted.
Yeah.
The reality was, once the data came in, instead of people going, hey, it's not as bad as we thought. Now, it's really bad for old people. And look, the bigger you are, the worse this is. Now would be a really good time to eat smarter, get your exercise. No. Hey, we're shutting down the beaches. We're shutting down the parks. It was stupid. It was just stupid. And this is stupid, that you asked a man, 43 years old, who didn't need the vaccine. He didn't need it. Now, if he chose to get it out of a sense of, hey, I'm going to be proactive, okay, cool. Because there's lots of people that got it. I have a brother that's totally boosted. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
He jokes with me about it. I'm like, I don't think you need it, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't. My whole deal was I felt like I was not pressured. Nobody made me go do it, but I had to go do it for my business because my business was starting. And I was having to go to things early on that I was required to be vaccinated to go.
Yeah.
But I did not get it until at that point in time. And I know I've told you privately. I don't know if I did on here or not. So forgive me, dude. After I got the second shot, I literally thought I was dying. That was the sickest I've ever been in my life. That was rough. I had a feeling. I just got a text from a friend of ours. It just said, "Pissing off Neal equals success."
Anyway,
I love it. No, but here's my point. My point of the drill is that Rolo's a really good dude. He's a really good football coach. He's won everywhere he's been. And to see somebody's career coaching getting to that level, I think as fans, I think Jeff Saturday's doing a whole nother is putting a whole new light on this, but getting to that level and the sacrifices you make as an individual to coach at that high of a level. I'm embarrassed to say, as a husband and as a father, and really as a human being, I'm embarrassed to say the things that I've sacrificed in my life to be able to coach at the highest level. And nothing's free.
No,
and
for sure.
You can say, well, y'all make great money and all that stuff. Well, yeah, but here's the thing: is like, you probably wouldn't pay for what we lost. There's no price you can put on what you've lost out of that. And my point of the drill is this: is Rolo paid that price to get to that level, and to get it ripped away from you for something that's really meaningless is kind of disheartening. It's tough enough to keep those jobs by winning football games. Hey guys, I'm here. It's hard enough to do that. And I just hate it for him. So, all right, let's talk. Let's move on off that. Let's talk about, because this is going to be a hot topic, and I want to kind of go around and talk about some other things around it too. But let's talk about resetting the clock. I know I sent you a message the other day. It said remind you, and I hadn't remembered. I told you something, so I put this on here. A lot of times, coaches and coaching changes do what we call resetting the clock. The king of resetting the clock was a guy named Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah.
And, he always had a saying, is you got to get out before the posse gets you.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy left a great gig at Texas Tech. They kind of started getting hot on him a little bit. Dude just went and took a lesser job at Cincinnati from Texas Tech. And Cincinnati wasn't Cincinnati at the time, what we know as now. I mean, he just kept dipping, staying ahead of the posse. And that was what he did. And a lot of times coaches, you got it going on here. You got to leave when the getting's good sometimes. That sucks. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but if you've been somewhere, I saw it, probably the world's worst was at Arkansas State. They haven't won a game in like 3 years when we got there.
Yeah.
And Coach Roberts, from the day he got there, goes like 6-6. Well, you know what? After a few years, 6-6 is not good enough. And then when you go backwards a little bit, things get hot. And then you get your ass fired. And so when you go and take another job and you reset the clock, you're starting all over, man. You kind of reset the clock on your career, and you get to start fresh. And so a lot of coaches do that, and you're going to see a lot of that, I think, in this cycle. That doesn't have anything to do with this podcast or this show or these people. But sometimes coaches got to reset the clock, man, and start over before the posse gets hot and comes after your ass. I know that. I would have liked to reset the clock a couple times.
I know you would have. What are you wearing today, by the way? What is that?
What's my jacket? This is an Auburn Letterman's jacket.
Auburn
Tigers. University.
High school?
Auburn University.
Oh, university.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was cold outside today.
What's underneath there?
This
is a pretty shirt.
This is a shirt that Kevin Steele gave me.
Has it got an emblem on it?
No. He gave it to me when he was it's an Under Armour shirt.
Okay.
It's a nice coaching shirt that he gave me when he got the job.
You just got cold and grabbed your jacket.
Yeah.
For fun.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold in here. You got the temperature down in here.
Yeah, we don't run the heat much.
You don't run the heat in here, and it's cold outside. Yeah. So I thought I'd put that on, and since I got called an Auburn homer today, I thought I'd just put it on, man, and it's a little chilly outside.
Well, you played there.
Yeah. I sat the bench and watched Cole play.
You practiced there.
I practiced. I did a lot of that. Got the shit knocked out of me. I got that done. I was a scrub. I watched Cole play, though. That was fun.
You watched Cole play?
Cole Kubelik.
Oh, Cole Kubelik.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the band, Coldplay.
Yeah, no. Watched Cole Kubelik play. I texted him, man. He had the worst MAC game of all time last night. I said, dude, you should have been in the Snowpocalypse. That was fun, man.
Because he had Kent and somebody, right?
He had Eastern Michigan and Kent State.
Who won?
Eastern Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah. So he didn't get into the snow yesterday. So, all right, let's talk about this because I'm sure it's going to come up here in a second. Look at Grind. Grind. I was waiting on you, man. I'm in here getting killed. I was waiting on you to show up and tell me how much you love my jacket. Thank you for showing up, Grind. Anyway, this is going to be a interesting cycle because, you already saw a lot of pressure on universities with the early signing day. And I don't know how many people are talking about this, so we'll be the first ones. There's going to be a ton of pressure on administrations to move really fast because of the transfer portal.
Right.
Because December 5th, it's going live, and they're not going, and the good ones are going to be in and out. and you probably need to go ahead and have your tampering done before then. So when December 5th comes, hey, you're in for 15 minutes and you're out. There's going to be a lot of pressure on staffs, I'm talking about administrations, to move quickly and fill spots. This doesn't need to be a lingering deal with anybody. So I think you're going to see things pick up. And I say all that to say this, Charlotte went ahead and hired Biff Poggi. Biff was a assistant to the head coach at Michigan. Very interesting hire. So Biff is independently wealthy. Biff has been a businessman for a long time. He's really, really close friends with Coach Saban.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
And do you know where you know Biff from? You know him and you don't know. I bet you don't know where you know him from.
I don't.
He was the head coach at St. Francis Academy that was on TV what's the clowning kid's first name plays here?
Damon?
That was his high school coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he coached at St. Francis High School, where all the players come from. And I guarantee you that had something to do with it. So if you got players on your team from St. Francis that aren't playing very much, just telling you, they're going to be mining here December 5th. They're going to be doing some mining over there with the miners at Charlotte.
Yeah.
Guarantee you.
Yeah.
Because he had, I don't even know how many players.
I'll be surprised if Damon Clowney doesn't get in the portal, for example, from Ole Miss. That would make sense for him to go to a place like Charlotte.
Biff's close to those kids. A great guy, stud of a human being. But that's what that was about. So I wouldn't be surprised if that takes place at all.
Okay.
All right. Before we move on, we got a few minutes. We have to get to the Boise. I know you have talked yourself out of it. I feel bad for you, how much you're having to talk about this, because I would want to go jump off a bridge somewhere.
What?
The situation that's occurring in Oxford.
What's happening in Oxford?
I just heard.
I don't know. Go out in Oxford, so I don't know what's.
Dude, my phone started blowing up again this morning.
Something happened in Oxford?
Not that I know of. But
what are you talking about?
Yeah, just rumors. And it's blowing up I'm getting both sides of it, and it's driving me nuts. So let's talk about. I'll talk about it. And would you do me a favor? I don't want you to say anything because I know you've talked your side out of it. I would like for you to refute what I'm hearing, because you and I have not had a conversation today about this. Okay, this is where I'm at. I got asked. I think I've figured out how to articulate this. My stance on this thing has not changed one iota from the conversations that we've had on this podcast for the last 3 weeks. I said 3 weeks ago, I said it almost every episode for 3 weeks. Lane Kiffin is Auburn's number one target, period.
I believe that to be true.
Okay. 2 is their second target is Hugh Freeze.
I believe that to be true.
Okay. I have stated from the beginning that in my opinion, in Tyler Siskey's opinion, Hugh Freeze will be the next football coach at Auburn, which is where you may disagree with me.
I don't know that I have an opinion right now on that.
But let me state why I'm saying that. I do think Auburn will offer Lane the job. I do think Lane will look into it. I don't think that's happened yet.
No. Okay, I'll go emphatic here.
Am I wrong on that?
It is my very educated understanding that as of this morning, and I have not asked since then, but as of this morning, Auburn has not offered its job to anyone.
That's where I'm at.
I am of the opinion that Auburn has been doing an extensive deep dive into Lane Kiffin and Hugh Freeze.
Where was that? Did an Auburn plane show up in the Mid-South this week?
It was in Memphis.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Who's spent a lot of time in Memphis?
Hugh Freeze.
Okay. And who else is in Memphis?
Their agent.
Oh, okay. Damn. I wonder why that plane was there. All right, here's the other.
So what was the other part? So I don't think there's been an offer.
I don't think there's been an offer.
Now I will say this. I've heard this consistently, and it jives with another topic you were just talking about. I do believe that when an offer is made, there's going to be a limited amount of time to give an answer.
Agree.
I don't think either person or anyone else who might be out there. And by the way, I think Pete Thamel continues to mention Matt Rule as a candidate at Auburn. I have a suspicion that is to help Rule drive his market value up a little bit. He's being
I mean, he's got plenty of money now.
He's being listed at Nebraska as a leading candidate. Anyway, regardless, if it's whoever it is, I don't think that they'll have a lot of time. Someone told me today, with knowledge of the situation, that that they anticipated some Auburn would make its first kind of move late next week.
Yeah.
So, which makes sense. I mean, Lane Kiffin's last game at Ole Miss this regular season is Thursday. Hugh Freeze coaches a game on Saturday afternoon with Liberty. I can't remember who it's against. I've already looked this up and I've already forgotten.
Virginia Tech.
That's this Saturday.
Oh, Lane, his last game. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hugh's got a game next Saturday.
I don't know.
In the afternoon at Liberty. Although Hugh is in a place where, much like when Lane was at FAU, Hugh could take the job before his final game, coach the final game, and leave. And nobody at Liberty is going to hold it against him that he took the job at Auburn.
Yeah. So, look, I know Lane. We're not boys or anything. We work together.
Is anybody?
Well, I'm really good friends with his brother. His brother and I are tight.
Okay.
But I do know Lane. Look, Lane's going to
Liberty plays New Mexico State in the finale.
Oh yeah,
so
I could coach that game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lane is going to look into, like, he doesn't. People are like, he doesn't go home. He's not a typical fan. He doesn't go home and go, man, I wonder if I should take this Auburn job. Like, his mindset, he's watching film. He's getting ready to go play Arkansas. He knows he's going to get paid either way. And when he goes and does a deep research on what's going on there, and this is why I've said what I've said, when he looks at the roster overhaul that's going to have to take place, okay, there's going to be about 45 roster spots that he's going to have to fill.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can he do that in the portal? Sure. I mean, obviously, but you're starting over, okay? He is resetting his clock, so there is some positivity there, right? But at the same time, I just don't. I've said it from the jump. You've said it from the jump. It's not a fit, and he's a smart guy. Lane is a smart guy. All right, but to say from the Ole Miss side, for people to sit there and say there's not a legitimate interest, because I've heard this come up too, that there's not legitimate interest from Auburn towards Lane. That's complete fabrication too, because that's a lie. I know for 100% fact they want Lane.
Yeah, I've had some people push in that regard, and look, I don't believe that to be true. I'll just say that.
All right. So at the end of the day, he's going to have to sit down and go through that. Now, I think, and I'm of the opinion of Tyler Siskey's opinion, not anybody else's. This is my independent super sleuth, seeing both sides of it. I think once Lane sits down and sees that stuff, he's gonna be like, it may not be what I want to do, and not go. Now, that may not mean he may not go somewhere else when it comes January, when Black Monday comes around. But I just think when he goes through things and sees it, that's my opinion. I could be dead ass wrong, and I've said from the jump that is their first option. Lane's gonna have first shot to say no. I don't think there's any debating that. He's gonna have his first chance to say no.
Hugh Freeze believes that too, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, but Hugh will take it and he'll do a great job. And so I'm wearing this in support of my Hugh Freeze to Auburn movement, just so everybody knows. But I'm terrible, I know. But I think that's where it's at. And that's what I was trying to explain. I couldn't type all that to whoever asked me the question. I can't type all that out. But second thing, this Chris Lowe thing that happened yesterday.
Yes.
Or this is the last thing I want to say. I know there's a lot. That was when my phone started blowing up last night. Look, let me tell you.
Your phone?
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine yours. Do you know who the second person I saw walk through the building the day Lane Kiffin was hired?
Chris Lowe.
He was right behind him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris and Lane are
actually they're tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they go way back.
Chris Lowe is delivering a message for Lane, and a lot of people took that as a negative, like giving him a way out. I didn't do that. I took it as a kind of, hey, him trying to get the things that he wants to get in order to stay. I actually took that as a positive, not a negative. I know all Ole Miss fans are ready to jump off a bridge, but I took that more of a positive of him wanting to stay as I did a way for him to get out. I did. That was just me. Tyler Siskey's opinion, not my opinion.
I took it as one of two ways. One of two things. Okay, let me see if I can get all my thoughts together here on this because I'm all over the place a little bit.
Have you had enough rain yet?
No.
It helps with mental focus. I didn't know if you saw that on the back of the can.
I probably should open mine and have some. So I took it as a couple of things. One, the fact that we don't have to pretend here that Lowe's source about Kiffin's thoughts is Kiffin.
Yeah, if you don't think that, then y'all got problems.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't help you.
They go way back.
Way back.
The fact that it got talked about yesterday,
accomplished the goal,
and then written about on ESPN.
Winner, Lane Kiffin.
Told me that, but what it told me is that Lane, it's the first sign like last year. Lane's name flew around with LSU. He never said a word. He flew around with Florida. Never said a word.
Minnesota. Vikings.
The Vikings. Flew around with Miami a little bit. He never commented on that at all. Not even secondhand, right?
Yeah.
The fact that he talked about it, obviously, with Chris, and the fact that his kids have talked about it, and I hate bringing them in, so I'm going to briefly bring them in, and then I'm getting done. The fact that it's been talked about tells me that that's what told me that unlike LSU, where that was Lane wanting to be involved in the job and couldn't get a sniff, and Florida, where Scott Strickland was not hiring Lane Kiffin, and Miami, where maybe they would have, but they were so set on Cristobal that it was they were laser.
He was fighting uphill battle.
They were laser focused, right? And I don't know what the Dolphins beats me. Not the Dolphins, the Vikings. I have no clue whether that gained traction or not. We had a source that told us it was real. I never could get there, so I don't know. Whatever. Told me that that we're talking about it here tells me it's real, and that he's got a decision to make. So I took it as one of two things, as either he was laying the groundwork for a breakup. Hey, if it doesn't work out and I leave and I don't get a chance to say goodbye, it's about NIL. That's how I took it.
Yeah.
Or,
I see that.
Or, like you said, hey, look, I really don't want to leave for there. I've built this, but the whole 1/10 thing, I
didn't understand that one.
That was from a PR standpoint. If you're planning to stay, right, saying out loud, we've only got 1/10 of Auburn's NIL pool.
Well, I think that was motivation. I think that's inaccurate, though. Have we established that yet?
We haven't gotten to that, but
okay.
Regardless, well, yeah, I mean,
hopefully people know that.
I mean, I would assume it's pretty inaccurate, but I beats me. I don't know. I don't know what Auburn's NIL package is. I don't know what Ole Miss's NIL package is. My point is that if in the event that you are truly 1/10 of where Auburn is today, you're not making up that ground in the time between today and the time.
Correct. That's my point.
And the time that you have you'll have to make a decision if Auburn offers you a job.
That was my point.
Right? You're not going to close that gap. So the reason I heard what Chris said more negatively than others, and also I heard what Chris said more negatively in large part because I was also talking to people, including someone last night who said, frankly, I think he'll take it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I
don't know.
Look, Lane's going to do and here's the thing. Hey, do you know who knows if he's going to take it or not?
Right now?
Yeah.
Not a damn soul.
He doesn't even know.
Nobody.
So why are we? I do want to say it really. And we got a lot of Auburn people in here too. Consider your sources. Okay. I heard it on the show, so I'll say it. I know for a fact that there are Auburn beat writers that are so far out of the freaking loop of how this stuff works that they are texting people asking the most preposterous questions
Plural?
you ever,
Plural?
Questions or people?
People.
People, plural.
Okay.
Yeah, plural. PL. And you know who is not one of them? JG never came in a conversation. So you can take him off that list.
Jay and I've talked
Jay,
a lot.
Jay, this is not about you. You are not in this inclusion. But there's other people on that beat, and there's two in particular, to be honest, okay? It's two of them.
Okay.
And I was joking. We should have a segment called "Dumbass Text That Tyler Siskey Receives." All right, about this deal. And one of them, and I put it up for some of your people the other day, is it's Monday or Tuesday, was, hey, a board member told me that Lane was touring around the facility this morning. Is that true? Now, this is a media person texting somebody inside the Auburn building asking them if Lane, are you kidding me? Did Lane just take a long lunch break and hop on a plane and go on a tour and come back before everybody noticed he was gone? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Seriously. Is that what we've gotten to? I was actually going to make the joke that Lane picked this up on his way back to town today, but
the idea.
Why? Why do we do that?
The idea that a sitting head coach that is still coaching games at his school, who is as recognizable as Kiffin, first of all, for him to have been in Auburn on Wednesday morning, he would have had to skip Ole Miss's practice. Okay, that's number one. So I'm going to guess.
Hey, he do his teleconference from the plane?
I'm going to go out on a limb. Yeah, and he has an SEC teleconference.
Hey, did he step out of the tour to take a phone call for a teleconference?
I mean, the idea.
What if him and Cadillac shared a line?
That he would. The idea that he would skip his team's practice on the Wednesday before a road trip, and do the SEC teleconference from the road somewhere, is so beyond the.
But I don't understand. It's just it's wild, man. I don't know, man. Look. I want to say this, and this is the last thing, and we'll move on. We got to get going. We're actually okay one time, but nobody else wants to talk about this. I do want to say this, is I really don't. I know I'm wearing my jacket and all that stuff. I've lost my fandom so long ago, man. I don't have any fandom toward anybody. In my honest, no rose-colored glasses, because I don't own any, unless it's for the Atlanta Braves or Conor McGregor. Regardless of what happens, if it doesn't go well for Ole Miss fans, these two fan bases are so emotional right now that if let's say it doesn't go well for Ole Miss and Lane leaves, Ole Miss is going to be just fine. I truly believe that the amount of money that is being done and resources dumped into that program is 100,000 times better than it ever has been before. And I think the candidate pool that you're going to have out of Ole Miss is going to be better than it ever has before.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And somebody says, well, how can you say that? Because the coach that's leaving now, if he does leave, is leaving on his own. How many coaches have left here on their own before him if he leaves? Let's say he does leave.
Okay.
When was the last time, and I don't know the answer to this, when was the last time a coach left Ole Miss on their own?
All right, since I've been familiar with Ole Miss, Brewer got fired, NCAA stuff. Joey Dunn was an interim coach. Tommy Tuberville left for Auburn.
Tuberville probably?
Cutcliffe got fired. Who replaced? Orgeron got fired. Nutt got fired.
Tuberville.
Freeze got fired for Tommy.
And so he's leaving the school.
Tommy left Auburn. Left Ole Miss in 1998.
Yes.
So
November.
It's been been a quarter century
But
since
when he
yeah.
left here, they were coming off probation, all that stuff. The foundation's here, and I think and when you're paying a coach $7.5, $8, $9 million or whatever they're going to come up with, they can go get you can go get a really good candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some really good candidates that will be highly interested in this job. So I don't think it's going to be that problem if it's been before.
Agreed. 100%.
All right, and then let's look at the other side, okay? So if you're an Auburn fan and you're here listening and Lane doesn't come and you end up with Hugh, okay? All jokes aside, and we can sit here and all this stuff, he's going to do really well there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll say this again for the millionth time. From a fit standpoint,
it doesn't get any better of a fit.
He's a much better fit for that job than Lane Kiffin. It just is. Now, I don't know. Look, I'll be honest. I'm so tired from it.
Well, hell, we're just not getting started, boss.
Yeah, well, I know. I mean, but I've got to in the back of my mind, I've got to start thinking. Okay, you got to be ready from a content standpoint to turn the page, and that's kind of where my focus has started.
I know it stretches you out a little bit and all that stuff.
Not really. I mean, we'll be good. I mean, look, you produce a product. People either like the product or they don't. I can't. It's one of the things I can't control. Number one, I don't care. If I'm just totally honest, I've covered so many coaches. If I cover another coach, I cover another coach. Whatever. I mean, the number of coaches that I've ever covered who I considered a friend, head coaches, at the time that they were coaching, one.
Yeah.
One. Andy Kennedy is a friend and was a friend.
I don't get credit. I don't get two.
You weren't a head coach.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, guys on staffs? Yeah. I hated that. I told you, you talked about this. I had to catch myself during the Matt Luke time. Not cheering for Ole Miss, but I was cheering for you guys. I liked you guys. I mean, I still like him. He's still with us, thank goodness. I like Matt Luke. Matt Luke's the nicest, one of the nicest people I've ever covered. He was a great guy. Matt knew.
Still is.
Matt, yeah. I'm sorry. Matt's a great guy. He knew my family. He knew my family.
Yeah.
He knew Caroline.
Yeah.
Who's very good friends with Caden. In fact, I mean, Caden goes to Ole Miss. Caroline goes to Arkansas. Caden is staying with Caroline this weekend in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they're buddies. I mean, they've been buddies since they were dancing together when they were kindergartner. I mean, I knew Caden really well. That's Tom's daughter. So, we knew. I cheered for you guys. I wanted y'all to make it.
I cheered for us too.
Yeah, but I'm totally serious from that. I wanted y'all to make it. That's the part.
I know. It sucks, dude.
At Auburn, Noel Mazzoni is a good friend, and at the time was a really good friend.
Yeah.
And, he had Jason Campbell was a redshirt freshman or sophomore, kind of thrust into the quarterback job, and he wasn't really ready, and they played him, and I'm like they had a game at Syracuse in 2001 where Dwight Freeney just terrorized him, and it took him a while to kind of get past that, And Jason ended up being a hell of a college quarterback, and he played in the NFL as a really good NFL quarterback. But at the time, he wasn't really ready, and there was so much pressure. And Auburn does that. Auburn's a pressure cooker. It just is. Whether it's Lane or Hugh or anyone else, they're going to figure that out. It's different. And I remember wanting Auburn to win, not for Auburn, but because I didn't want Noel to get fired. I remembered when Noel got fired, and I had to write that story, and he joked with me about it. I knew the night that he got fired, I knew he'd been fired, and all those things. And I remember saying to myself, I'm never befriending one of these people again. This is no fun, man. I mean, because you get to know their families and stuff. And, with AK, when he was the basketball coach here, I've told this story, and Andy, I think, doesn't mind me telling it at this point, but that last year got really bad, and it was kind of over. And he called me on a Sunday, and he goes, "Hey, have you written your 10 thoughts?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Don't do it." And I was like, "Well, why?" And he goes, "Well, something's happening tomorrow, And I figured, "Oh, you're resigning." And I was like, "Well, anyway."
I love AK, man.
AK is the best, and boy, he would have done well here during the NIL era. Because he would have been able to work the portal.
I would have liked my chance at the NIL era.
Of course.
Doing what I did.
You would have done really well in there.
That would have been right up my alley.
So, anyway, that's that. Well,
yeah. No, it's all kidding aside. It does suck just from a personal standpoint. The hardest part for me, and this is personal, and I know I joke around with some. I got some people pissed off the other day talking about personal stuff on my mailbox, but it was very hard for me personally being on the last staff, and in this town, right, wrong, or indifferent, when people, and I get it, I'm used to it. I mean, I got when we signed up for the deal, I mean, I know how it goes. But when people talk bad about things that happen there and they don't know the whole story, it pisses me off. And
of course.
If I lived somewhere else, I wouldn't have to deal with it.
Right.
And I think but more time has gone by. Now, I sacrificed for me because I've moved my kids and my family 10 times, dude.
Yeah.
10 times. And it was
time 11 here soon when you go join Hugh on the plains.
All right. I'll address that. Yeah, I've got that message too. From people that know better. But
I'm kidding.
I know you are, but
totally joking.
You got to be careful because it's probably on Twitter by now.
You think he'd hire me as like a media relations person?
100%. I could get that done. You want to go?
Depends on the price.
You want to go McCready Siskey back to the plains? Since we're homers.
Like to do a show or to permanent?
Permanent, let's do it.
Go cover the Tigers.
Yeah. We'll just go straight podcast from the practice field.
Just every day?
Every day. I bet you I could get Hugh to let us do our podcast from the tower during practice.
Can we get good Wi-Fi out there? How would that go?
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
But no, it's just very living somewhere when you're on the last staff. It's just an odd deal, man. But I'll tell you this: you find out who your friends are real quick. I liked it here. That's obviously why I'm still living here.
Yeah, I
liked it in Auburn. Auburn and Oxford are very similar. Auburn's actually grown a lot more now. There's no difference between Auburn and Opelika anymore. There used to be.
Yeah.
But I'm an easy, simple person. But that's the hard part. All right. I'm going to say this for the 874th time.
Okay.
I am not going to Auburn.
I mean,
I don't know how many times I got to tell people that.
Nick Saban said he wasn't going to Tuscaloosa. Look at the rest.
Hey, I want you to listen to me. I will be in a pine box before I leave Oxford going to Auburn. How about that?
So here soon, the show's just going to be McCready, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel.
I'll leave here in a pine box the next time I leave Oxford. All right. You know what time it is now?
It's time for me to just have a disastrous showing here on.
It's time.
This is just brutal, man. I mean, when I tell you that I have not done research and that I'm so screwed here, I am so screwed here.
For the road to Boise.
The road to Boise. Yes, sir.
Just to catch everybody up, Neal has a 0.34 unit lead on your boy going into the weekend.
Let's take a mental picture right now. This is the last moment that I'm ever going to be ahead. This is it. Right now. This is that moment.
Are you trying everything you can to reverse jinx this thing?
Tyler, I'm literally looking at games as we go. I have no idea what's happened. Normally I have like this little 2-hour window that I spend doing some time. I look up some stuff. Not this time.
All right.
But sure.
Would you like to start off in the National Football League?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Would you like me to go first so you can buy some time?
Yeah, I do. I need you to go first.
Okay. Are you going to sit here and pick on top of my picks, by the way?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean,
you got an idea? NFL's fine. It doesn't matter because there's not that many games.
I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got a few games I can figure out.
All right, here we go. I just saw GJ, and he's in here. Neal, America's team. GJ's America's team, the Atlanta Falcons, are hosting your Chicago Bears.
Yep. This is actually one of my games, but I'm not. Go ahead.
That's why I don't care. Okay. We're good.
All right.
The Chicago Bears are underdogs by 3 points against the Falcons.
Yep.
There's a lot of talk in Atlanta. Desmond Ritter's getting some snaps after that. One of the worst ball security performances by a National Football League quarterback I've ever seen in my life. But somehow the Atlanta Falcons are favored by 3. And you know what, Neal?
What's that?
It's too much.
Really?
I'm taking the Chicago Bears plus 3 points in Atlanta on Sunday. I think the Bears, I think they blow them out. Like, personally, I'm probably going to load up personally on the money line on this game.
Okay.
One of my favorite NFL games of the week.
I like this game too, although I'm going to surprise you here. It's not the Falcons. I'm not betting the Falcons. The Bears' defense is not good. The Bears' offense is good, beginning to really get good, kind of feeling themselves.
They are that.
I'm going to take the Bears-Falcons over 49.5. I think these two teams.
Hey, look, I'm going to help you out here. It doesn't matter. I got it at 49. I said go 49 so you can get you a push.
All right.
I looked it up right before I came. I put it on the sheet.
Okay.
49.
Okay.
Cole, 49.
All right. I like Bears-Falcons over 49. I think the Bears get – I won't be surprised if the Bears get into the low 30s.
Agree.
And that means all I got to do out of Atlanta is get them to about 20, and I can see that. Easy.
Dude, I don't understand. I feel like I'm missing – this line's bad, man.
There's some weird lines in general this week.
Yeah, this line's bad. All right, my second pick, the Cleveland Browns are going to Buffalo, New York. Buffalo is favored by 8. But guess what, Neal? That's not where I'm going.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking the under at 42 points. Because what Vegas doesn't know that I know is that lake effect snow is popping the Buffalo area. There will be 3 feet. That is right.
3 to 6
feet of snow on the ground. I'm taking the under right now, like I'm betting it today before people read the weather forecast. I'm taking Browns-Bills under 42.
Wow. How about that? All right, I'm gonna with pick 2. I'm gonna go with a team that hadn't gone with all year, hadn't touched them, hadn't touched one of their games all season. The Detroit Lions head to New York to face the Giants. Are they getting bad weather too?
I don't know. I'll let you know after you make your pick.
Detroit plays in a dome. The Giants are used to the outdoors. Giants can run that football. That's what they do well. Give me the New York Giants -3 at home against the Detroit Lions.
I'm going to save you the suspense, Neal.
Okay.
It is going to be bad weather.
Okay.
I am also taking the New York Giants -3. I would normally pick another pick, but this is my second favorite pick of the day. I probably should have got you in game theory right there and going. That was my going order of my favorites. But I'm in 100% agreement with you. The weather's it's not going to be snowing. It's going to be flurries. But the wind is going to be blowing at 20 miles an hour. I came really close to taking the under in this game. But I'm taking the Giants -3. I think exactly what you said. A dome team going to the Giants, even though Detroit is cold. I'm all over the Giants -3.
All right. All right. Now, my next pick, I was looking for it. There it is. Everybody says don't do double-digit favorites in the NFL. Don't do it. I did it one time, got burned. Did I learn my lesson?
No.
I did not. The Baltimore Ravens are going to absolutely destroy the Carolina Panthers.
Oh.
I'm going to lay 13 in an NFL game, knowing how crazy that is, with my boy Lamar.
Did you watch?
And my guys in Baltimore.
I know you were all upset last night with your technology issues. You did not watch any of the Central Michigan, Western Michigan game last night.
I did not. Who won?
My Western Michigan Broncos, by the way, needed that one. For my boys, Quick U Climbs.
They were an 11-point dog, and they won?
Yep.
Look at the MAC. So the MAC.
Take the underdogs if you got a lot of points.
Kent State won?
Last night,
they were a 7-point.
The Northern Illinois lost as basically a 1-point dog last night. But Eastern Michigan was a 7-point dog and won, and Western Michigan was a 10-point dog and won.
Who won the Tuesday games? Who won the Toledo Bowling Green?
I was coaching football Tuesday night, so.
Oh, okay. So it's supposed to be snowing in Baltimore too?
No.
Okay.
No. Neal, I also like the Panthers and Ravens game.
Okay. You like the over, I bet.
But, Neal, remember what I told you. Teams that are favored by more than 9.5 points.
I know.
Take the under.
Oh.
I'm going under 41. What do you got at over there?
41.5.
That's fine. 41 under. I got it under 41. I'll keep it there. I'm going the Panthers-Ravens under 41 points in that game. I don't know, man. I'm just literally betting this on the trend. I have no comprehension of what the score is going to be. I'm strictly betting trend.
Okay.
It was good to me last night.
That's fine. The trend was? Is that what you said? It was good
to
me last night?
Or good to me last week.
Gotcha. Okay.
In the NFL.
All right.
And I went undefeated, so I'm not going to buck it.
You were good. Put a lot of pressure on me this
I feel good about my NFL right now. I'm starting to get in my NFL groove.
And I feel like I've lost mine. But I think this is the Sunday night's Chiefs-Chargers.
Yes.
Chargers getting banged up. Starting to hurt. Losing dudes.
They're getting two back.
Who are they getting back?
Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both practicing right now.
Oh.
Limited, but they're practicing. I don't know if they're playing or not. This line tells me they're not, though.
Yeah.
But here, I'm going to help you out. I'll let you decide to pick. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams have been practicing on a limited basis, but their defensive line is just annihilated. They have no players left. That's why they can't stop the run. That's why they got beat by the 49ers the other night.
So I'm going to take Kansas City. I'm going to lay 6. When in doubt, take a really good team in a primetime game. They want to win. They look like they're kind of finding an offensive groove.
And they have to hold first place. They have to hold the first seed.
They don't want to go to Buffalo. They don't want to go anywhere. They don't have to end up playing some road game in Baltimore or something. Give me the Chiefs -6 on the road at KC.
All right, Neal, my last pick. So I'm going to be nice here. I'm feeling, since you're having a rough day, I'm going to be nice because I have a really sneaky suspicion where you're going with your last pick.
I'm glad you do because I don't know yet.
I bet I do. I'm going to circle it right here, and I'll show it to you if I'm right. My last pick is the Washington Commanders are going to Houston. Houston is in full tank mode. They are you talking about a disaster inside of a building. They stripped their captainship from Cooks. And you know who's playing a little bit better and starting to get a little hot is the Washington Commanders. They upset Philadelphia the other night. They've won like 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Defensive line starting to play like the defensive line that they are, where they have to have the NFL leading most first-round picks on front 7 in the NFL. I have the Washington Commanders -3 at Houston.
Oh, I actually like that pick. What did you think my next pick was going to be? Oh, no.
No?
No, I got talked out of that by somebody.
Mintz?
Yeah. He talked me out of it.
For what?
I know. I ought to go with it anyway, shouldn't I?
I'm betting it personally, so maybe I'm just being a fan.
You know what? I'll be a fan then because I'll be driving Sunday. Gives me something to listen to. It's the afternoon game.
Here's the only thing the only negative that I can see.
You worry about Watt.
I'm worried about T.J. Watt versus the tackles, and he's back. And they've usually struggled when they play a dominant end.
Well, he dominated their ass the first time. Is Fitzpatrick back, Minka?
I don't know that. He had an appendectomy, so
because Joe Burrow was joking around with him and said you should take another week.
I mean, how fast can you get back from those?
It took Burrow a while to come back effectively.
I mean, he had it last
Wednesday. Burrow's was different, though, because Burrow's had his burst.
He had an appendectomy last Wednesday after practice. So how long does it take to come back? 10 days, you can go full speed? I mean, he can't be 100%.
I wouldn't think. So the games that I'm thinking about the Colts +7 at home against Philly. Think about that one. +7 at home. Let the people in the stream help me here, if I'm being honest. That's what I'm trying to do. So if y'all want.
Who? The Colts?
Colts. +7 at home against Philly.
They got to show me one more week.
I like the Rams Saints under. It's 39.
Dude, I mean, I'm with you. Who's left to play offense?
That's what I'm saying. I like
Cooper Kupp's out for like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
He's IR'd.
And Stafford's just a shell of himself right now. I like the under. 39.
Well, he didn't play last week.
And then the other game, where was it? Oh, so the other game is Cincinnati -4 in a rematch at Pittsburgh. So talk to me, people.
You want to hear something funny?
Yep.
So I got my phone on Do Not Disturb, but my computer has the text messages on here, So definitely not going to. What do you call it when you reveal who texts you? Doxing, is that what you say?
Yes. Well, no, not really. You're exposing us.
I have a really significant coach asking what the situation is at another school.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 big-time media reporters want to know what I know about Auburn.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
All
Tune
right,
in.
We're gonna do Saints.
Catch up. Go about 15 minutes back.
Let's see. We got Grind telling me this. I got Grind and Connor and somebody else. I thought said it. GJG basically says the same thing. So I'm gonna go Rams Saints under 39.
Golly, that's low though, man. I like it though. I like it. I do. I like it. It's so scary being. I don't know what it is about when you see a 3 in front of the over under. I don't know, man.
How about the Iowa Minnesota?
I know.
The over under's 32. It's almost in
That's
the 20s.
the lowest ever, I think. Right?
It's almost in the 20s.
That's insane. Yeah, I actually like somebody said the Jets. I like the Patriots at home against the.
Mm-hmm.
Now the over under that I wanted to play with was the Jets and Patriots at 38 because it's going to be snow flurrying over there too, and the wind is blowing 20 miles an hour at kickoff. That's hard. Like people don't understand playing football. I much rather play in rain and bad weather than wind. Wind's the worst weather you can play in as a football player, as an offense anyway. So under in the Jets Patriots is looking pretty good.
Okay.
Almost took that one, but I didn't. All right, you ready to get to college?
Why not?
Why not? You want me to go first again?
Please.
Okay. All right, we're going to start this off. The TCU Horned Frogs are 2.5-point favorites on the road at Baylor.
Yeah.
TCU is they got a kind of Stella's got a groove a little bit, dude. They find a way to win. Baylor got exposed last week. Kansas State rubbed them pretty good.
Yeah.
At home. TCU, I mean, it's obviously an important game. They have to win to keep their college playoff hopes alive. I'm going TCU -2.5 on the road at Baylor.
I don't hate that. Feels like they've been flirting with some disaster a little bit, but
yeah, I mean, they have, but dude, I don't know, man. I can't get Baylor's very inconsistent, and I don't know, man. I just like TCU winning this game. I don't know why.
Okay. I'm going to open up in the Big 12, which has been good for me sometimes, not so good for me other times. Texas Tech is proving to be one of these teams that's one thing in Lubbock and a completely different thing when they're not in Lubbock. They're in Ames, Iowa, which is, last I checked, not Lubbock. I'm going to take the Iowa State Cyclones, who have been good to me, and lay 3.5 versus Texas Tech.
Did you just say how the Iowa State Cyclones have been good to you as an Iowa fan?
Yep.
I like that.
I mean, look, I'm not a combative person. I am not the kind of person that goes, just because you're a rival, I can't like you. We can't be friends. I'm not that guy. So I like Iowa State. I like Matt Campbell. Seems like a good dude.
Great guy.
I'm willing next week to make them the McCready Media Team of the Week.
Oh,
if they'll pull this off.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. I mean, hey, with my next pick coming up, you're going to see just how little I'm not even a grudge holder.
Okay. All right.
So go ahead.
All right, Neal. My second pick, the Florida Gators.
Oh.
Are going to Nashville.
Yeah.
And they're playing
14 playing.
They're playing your favorite.
Oh my God. Clark, love you, babe. Way to go.
Your twin brother.
Way to go.
Your brother from another mother.
We do look a lot alike.
You really do. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And the Gators are 14-point favorites now.
Yeah, I know.
Guess what?
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Florida is about to look now. People been. What did we talk about? You know how everybody was ready to. I may or may not heard it on your show before, so I just want to say this. Everybody was picking on my guy Billy Napier about 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying it's not working.
Yep. It wasn't me saying it; it was a guest.
I'm just saying.
It was a guest.
I heard it on your show though, that it wasn't working in Florida. If he wins this week, he's going to be 7-4 going to his last game. It's win number 7.
Yep.
And back in the summer, we said if he wins how many games, it would be a sign that it's working?
7 or 8.
7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. How about that?
I'm going to Florida Gators big.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Anthony Richardson, 2 weeks in a row. He's played like a good quarterback.
And when he's good, they're really good.
And you know what happens if you do 3 things in a row? We call that a streak.
There you go.
What movie is that from?
Bull Durham.
Look at you. Florida minus 14 at Vandy. What you got? Pick 2.
Pick 2. 2 weeks ago, the Flames of Liberty went to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and got a big win. The next week, the Flames of Liberty went to Storrs, Connecticut. They did not get a good win.
I heard. You know why they didn't win? Because the ghost showed up.
The ghost.
Jim Moore's ghost followed him.
Okay. This week, the Flames of Liberty are back in Lynchburg. Back at home, nice and comfortable. Got a big name team rolling in. Not a big team, but a big name team. And one Hubert Freeze.
It's Danny.
I know, I was playing. One Hugh Freeze knows eyes are upon him. Eyes are upon him.
You sent some points being scored Saturday?
I do. And I am expecting lots of points, quick, decisive points. I am expecting a offensive game plan that is remarkably good against a remarkably bad team with a big name. Because while I believe Hugh Freeze believes that Lane Kiffin is the leading candidate, I think Hugh Freeze believes that he's not that far behind. I do believe that he believes he's got a real chance at this job. And while it's unlikely that John Cohen is watching these games making decisions off of them, Hugh's not going to leave that to chance.
He will still be watching regardless.
Give me the Liberty Flames minus 10 versus Virginia Tech.
Hey, I may need to. All right, can somebody check this? I saw on the stream. Can I redo a pick if this is true? I got to look it up. I need to figure out a way to look it up. So this guy says the Browns-Bills game just got moved to Detroit.
Oh, is that right?
That will affect my over-under pick. Do you mind if I change it if we find that out?
I don't
Can
mind.
somebody look that up and validate that?
I mean,
please.
It's fine. It just feels wrong, but okay, sure. I mean,
well, let me tell you what would feel really wrong. Me dying of all the shit that I've done in my life. Me dying of pneumonia when we get back for Christmas. Merry Christmas, kids! I died of pneumonia.
Oh, it was Major League, by the way, where that movie came from, according to our friend Jared.
That's right. I almost said that, and then I felt like I was wrong. All right,
no, I don't know.
I'll go back and look that before we get done.
Schefter, or as you call him, Scheffler.
Scheffler.
He just
Scotty
tweeted
Scheffler.
So go ahead.
All right. So the I'll do that at the end. My third pick, Neal.
Yep.
I guarantee you don't have this on your deal.
Probably not.
The UTSA Roadrunners.
Oh yeah.
Are going to Rice.
Yeah.
Probably
Rice
not on your call sheet there.
I picked against Rice last week and got a W.
I know.
Western Kentucky.
UTSA, good football team. They're 8-2.
Yeah, they're good.
They are 13-point favorites. That's it. They're giving up 13 points at Rice.
Oh.
I'm taking the Roadrunners to run all over that ass. UTSA minus 13 because you know what, Neal?
What's that?
It's not enough.
It's not enough. I see that. That's a good pick. I like that. I like that a lot. Can you tell I'm stalling?
No, but I was looking at a text from Brendan. Brendan, that was classic. Brendan sent me a text of Alvin and the Chipmunks, with the with him wearing the letter A on the shirt and said that's what I look like on the live stream. Chipmunk with an A. I like that, Brendan.
That's good.
And he tweeted it. Good shit. Oh, nice tweet,
good.
Brendan.
That's good. All right. I'm going to do 3 over-unders at this point. I did 2 in the NFL. I'm about to do 1 in the college ranks. Pittsburgh and Duke play each other. 2 teams that can score some points. The over-under's not bad. It's just 50. I'm going to go over 50, Pitt and Duke.
I studied that game very, very hard. Did not pick it, though. Over 50. All right.
You like it or hate it?
I was actually flirting with it with my money line.
Okay.
I kind of like Duke plus 7.5 there. Pitt's like, dude, they're Jekyll and Hyde. They may score.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? All right.
I haven't even thought about money line. God, it's what a nightmare. I mean, I have no clue.
All right, Neal. My 4th pick. I'm going to stay in the Southeastern Football Conference.
Okay.
The Tennessee Vols.
Yep.
Are favored by 21.5 points.
It's not enough.
At South Carolina.
Nowhere close to enough.
Do you know who the most explosive player on Tennessee's football team is?
It's the wide receiver.
Hyatt.
Hyatt, yeah.
Do you know where he's from?
I'm going to guess he's from South Carolina.
He is. Do you know who did not offer him a scholarship?
I'm going to guess the University of South Carolina.
Do you know who's made it very public that he's fixing to put on the show this weekend?
I would guess Mr. Hyatt.
And when he says he's putting on the show, by God, I believe him.
Okay.
I'm taking Tennessee minus 21.5 on the road at South Carolina. This has visions of in the 60s to 10. This is massive blowout central. I want to apologize to Jeff, my brother-in-law, big South Carolina fan, Megan, my sister-in-law. Not going to be pretty in Columbia, South Carolina on Saturday evening.
Okay.
And they had, good point, Kodo. They got to score too, man. They got to look good. Just in case. Still stalling?
Yeah, I'm stalling bad. Yeah.
I can't wait to see what your money line pick is. Oh, We'll be here till Henry's guys before you figure out.
I think I'm going to go with the one that I wrote down, even though I'm trying to avoid it. All right, so I'll go with can someone give me an update on Malik Cunningham's status with Louisville? He's day to day, and I need to know which day is the day because
it's not. If it's day to day, they're not going. He will be available Saturday at 1 p.m.
All right, I'll do this one. Here we go. I like this one.
Laura, I tried.
You know who the most overrated team in college football has been this season?
The most overrated team?
The single most overrated team. Well, there's 2. They're from the same state.
Syracuse?
No. Texas A&M's most overrated team. The second most overrated team is Texas.
Ooh.
They go to Lawrence, Kansas.
They sure do.
They're a 9-point favorite.
9, yeah, sure are.
Give me Kansas plus 9 at home. Lance Leipold, he probably knows some eyes are on him as well. Got a good little quarterback there. They play hard. Kansas plus 9.
Wow. I like that.
Not picking them to win, just get 9 points.
It makes you feel any better. I had it in my money line conversation. All right, Neal. My last spread pick before we get to the money line.
Any of you cats got suggestions, go. I mean, I'm listening.
There's a game in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Neal.
Oh, yeah?
I heard. I think you're going to, right?
I am planning to go to Fayetteville. As of this moment, I don't even have a hotel reservation.
Did you stay with your kids? Or is that not cool?
Well, because I don't know that they'd let me stay at the Cayo house. I'm going to guess that wouldn't work.
A little bit. Hey.
I mean, a little awkward.
A little creepy.
Little creepy. Little creepy.
We'll you'll get your own Hulu documentary.
Yeah. So what happened was,
I shouldn't say that. I'm so sorry. That's so bad of me.
No, I'll find a place. I have gone back and forth about whether I even want to.
I'm going to burn in the blue flame for that one. Good Lord is going to call me out on that one when I show up. All right. Ole Miss is 2.5-point favorites.
Yep.
Guess what, Neal?
I'm going to guess. All right. I think Ole Miss is winning this game. I don't think it's a blowout. I think it's kind of close. It's going to be cold. You can't convince me that Ole Miss isn't a little distracted and a little let down after last week. I don't know what Arkansas is going to do because I'm not convinced they really care that much anymore, but it is senior day and KJ's going to play and he wanted to go to Ole Miss and they didn't offer him and blah, blah, blah. It was really close last year, blah, 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 super cold. I'm going to guess 2.5's not enough, but it's almost enough.
I feel this is my favorite bet of the week.
Okay.
I've studied this, and I will tell you this.
Okay.
The score will be
under
64 total points in the cold.
Yeah.
Favorite bet of the week, Ole Miss Arkansas under 64. It's going to be cold as hell.
Yeah, I had it 27-23 Ole Miss, which is
good.
Under. I think that's about right. Yeah,
I'm good with that.
I like the under there.
I don't think, all kidding aside, it's going to be cold, man. There's going to be a lot of balls on the ground. Clock's going to run. I really like the under 64. My favorite bet of the week. And it's actually going up, which I don't get that. Dude,
over under?
Yeah. It was at 61 start of the week. It's up to 64. I'm going Ole Miss, Arkansas under 64 points. I think that's free money.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that too. Let's see. I do not have a condo in Fayetteville. I don't. Kind of sometimes wished I did. I'd rent that puppy out. Cost of real estate up there is skyrocketing. Just out of control. All right.
Too bad you can't buy a house with the mortgage rates.
That's a good point. All right, so I'm going to save that one for my money line. I'm going to do this. Iowa and Minnesota play Big Ten game in Minneapolis. Iowa's been a better team on the road and at home lately. Not so good on the road. Minnesota's been solid. Veteran team. The line is just, I had it here.
2.5.
2.5. I'm going to go Golden Gophers. Gophers. At home, I'm going to lay the 2.5 over Iowa.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising. Do you know why?
Why?
It's my money line pick time.
Oh, you like Iowa as your money line?
My money line this week, the Iowa Hawkeyes are going to Minnesota. Minnesota can do nothing but run the football. And you know what Iowa can do?
They can stop the run.
They can stop the run.
Now, on the other hand, offensively, even though when you look from at the outside and they're very anemic, not so fast, my friends. They've started to learn what a play-action pass is. They've started scoring enough points. That's true.
The over-under is terribly low, so it's going to be a low-scoring game.
32.
I'm taking the best defense over the best offense in this game. I'm taking Iowa Hawkeyes money line. It's not a lot. It's plus 118, but I'm also playing game theory here. I need the unit. So I'm going Iowa Hawkeyes plus 118 on the road as my money line against the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the Road the Boats.
All right. I'm finding what the money line is on this one. Hold on. I'm getting there.
All right. While you're doing that, while you're looking at that, I'll buy you a little time here.
Why is Utah suddenly favored?
Well, there's rumors of Bo Nix not playing.
Well, son of a bitch.
I don't know that to be a fact.
Well, in Vegas, Utah's suddenly a 2-point favorite. And what was going to be my money line, they're now a minus 135. That's not a very effective.
Congratulations, just plus 6.65.
Not a good money line there.
While you're doing that, I'm going to switch my NFL pick.
Okay.
I'm getting off of the Browns and Bills since they moved the game on me.
Yep.
Assholes. I'm going to take – did you take the Bengals?
No, I did not.
All right. I'm taking the Bengals -4 against the Steelers. That was I had that pick as well. But I'm just going to gamble that they figured out how to block a speed rusher in the last 6 weeks.
All right, so my thoughts as we do this. That was good. All right, I haven't done an SEC game all year. I actually don't hate the Western Kentucky money line at 190.
I wouldn't hate it either.
I don't know. At some point, Auburn's emotion wears out. Alabama's next week. They used a bunch at Mississippi State. They used
everything they had
everything
left.
they had at Texas A&M. My God, there can't be much left. But they've done it 2 weeks in a row, and I'm not sure they won't do it 3. Different environment and stuff, but Western's good. So I might come back to that. I've got NC State, but I don't know what the money line is. I've got them against Louisville, but I don't trust NC State right now. Louisville's playing well, and if Cunningham plays, Louisville will win. If Cunningham doesn't play, different deal. Let's see, what's the other one I had? I got West Virginia at home as a 7.5-point dog, a 245 money line. West Virginia's been pretty good at home. Neal Brown's hanging on by a thread.
I looked at that one. I don't know. They with firing the AD on Monday. How much is that a deal? Yeah, Hartman said go big, go UMass plus 5,000.
Yeah, no.
UMass wins. I'll just go ahead and walk to Boise.
You know what's funny? On DraftKings, there is no money line on UMass.
Really?
Yeah. I don't hate Arizona as a home dog against Washington State. Arizona has given some people some fits.
The hell they beat UCLA last week.
Gave USC fits.
What do you think about that game? USC, UCLA?
I like UCLA.
I don't know.
It's going to be really close.
Yeah.
I actually don't hate the over in that game.
Huh? It's at like 70-something.
Yeah, I think both teams could get into the upper 40s. Those Pac-12 games
76.
Those Pac-12 games get shootout-ish.
Just need it freaking somebody get a stop.
Yeah, North NC State's a 150 money line.
Yeah, Pete's in here said quarterback play makes NC State hard to take. Hell yeah, it's
really tough because their quarterback plays so bad. So bad. All right, I'm stalled long enough. I'm not going to do an SEC game. I said I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to do it. I like that plus 180 though on Western Kentucky. They're only a 4.5-point dog.
It's dropping, dude. I'm telling you. So here's what's going to happen: is Western. This is going to be a really close game. Western Kentucky's going to win, and then we're going to celebrate the close loss to Western Kentucky at home.
That won't go over well at all.
I think the penny loses its shine this week.
You think so?
If I wasn't trying to, I put it like this: if I wasn't trying to win this competition, that would have been my money line. And I told one of my buddies that listens, that's an Auburn guy. I told him I just better be prepared for this weekend. Right. Western Kentucky doesn't care.
Oh no, they're going to show them play.
Yeah,
I mean they're going to play. It'd be a big win for them. They've already bowl eligible, right?
7-4.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a big win for them.
Yeah.
Screw it. Give me Western Kentucky.
I like it.
I got the Western Kentucky money line plus 180. I know more about that game than I do the Arizona game, and it's a better value.
What was the other one you were going to do? Kansas State, West Virginia?
Yeah.
I think Kansas. I actually think Kansas State's going to blow them out.
I do too. The only other one I had was I had Utah, but that's not one anymore. The other lines that I had, I don't hate Maryland getting 27.5 against Ohio State the week before Ohio State plays Michigan. For that matter,
where's that at?
I think I'm not sure. And honestly, I don't hate Illinois getting 18 at Michigan.
All right, so
that's a lot of points.
Fun fact on this one, like Michigan and Illinois, and I know they're ranked up there in the top 5, I think, but points per possession, they're leading like the country on defense, giving up the fewest points per possession. So this is going to be a fun game to watch. That's a Big Ten game if there's ever been one. Is Michigan Illinois?
Yeah,
I mean that's what it is. So, hey, we got a bunch of people in the stream today. Before you go,
you know what?
Make sure we hit that like button, please.
I'm going to change something. I'm not going to break my. I'm not going to break my rule. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do Arizona as my money.
All right, Cole, get that down. Arizona at home versus
Arizona is at home.
Washington State.
Against Washington State.
It's like 4.5 points.
And the money line
probably 170. If I had to guess.
I'm looking. By the way, that UCLA money line's only plus 110. Vegas believes.
Well, it's a 2.5 point spread.
Vegas believes. I'm looking for it. It's up here somewhere. I think it's an earlier game. Here it is. Arizona's plus 155.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, please. I know we got a ton of people in here today. And make sure you follow us on social media and all that good stuff. Oh, by the way, I haven't even told you this. We're going to do a test stream tomorrow for Boise.
Yeah.
You don't have to be there. Okay. It's going to be me and Cole. We're going to get on. We're going to do like a random. We got a.
Y'all can let me call in. What time are y'all doing it?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'll probably, if you're going to call in, we'll figure out whatever time you're free tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be driving in the morning, but I could do it in the afternoon too.
Okay.
I'm going to meet Caroline, take her to lunch.
Okay. We'll do we're going to do a test stream from the from Quick U headquarters.
Okay.
Tomorrow, and we'll what I'll do is, so it'll be a surprise show. It'll be a show, but if you guys don't mind, we'll tweet it out. I'll probably tweet it from my social media and tweet it from McCready and Siskey social media podcast, and you can just jump in. You won't get a notification or anything because it's not going to be on the MPW Digital YouTube channel. It'll be on some random YouTube channel that we put up to test the Road to Boise's remote stuff, which we feel like we got everything hammered in. We just want to do the whole. We want to try to do the whole kit and caboodle tomorrow, from start to finish, and so we'll be ready to go for Boise.
Okay, cool. All right. Thanks to everybody for being in the stream today. Thanks to Kyle. He says, Kyle, when you change coaching jobs, do you ever keep any of the old gear?
That is a great question. No, I do not. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say that. I keep, if I change, like, so when I left South Alabama to come to Ole Miss, they were red, white, and blue, and a Nike school. And so the generic shoes and shorts that didn't have logos on it, I would keep. The only thing I kept, he knows who he is. One of my buddies that's a banker here in town, when I left the first time to go to Alabama, I gave him, I think it was right around $15,000 worth of gear.
Wow.
He was fired up about that. I think he still wears it. And then when I left Alabama, I gave my buddy Greg, who is a big Alabama fan, I gave him all my Alabama gear. I usually give it away. We had this jacket here that Ken Crane hooked us up with. It was a black, Freeze like the black stuff, the jackets.
I remember that.
So he had this really warm, it'd be great this weekend, really warm like snow jacket. And it had this huge Ole Miss logo, but it was on the sleeve. And so I kept it, and I put a big American flag patch over the Ole Miss, and I still wear that. But most of the stuff I give away.
All right. Again, our thanks to everybody in the stream for being part of it. We'll be back on Monday with another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. Thanks to all of you guys for being in the stream with us today. Got some stuff coming your way. Butcher versus Spin Instructor is at 6. There's another content item podcast thing that might be coming out this afternoon. Our producer, Caroline McCready, was putting that together, and I don't know whether it's ready or not. And then Chase and I will be with you this evening.
What y'all going to talk about?
Or hand raise, guys.
Hey, there's a good game on tonight, though.
Who's playing?
Titans and Packers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we'll do that. So see you tonight at 7. God, for Henry. Thanks to everybody for being with us. We'll talk to you again soon.
See you guys.